oduogi kendo oganda matini piem mayiedhi pod nitiere kendo oganda pod ohero matini gino ma ka omisir tinyalo tuge. Dhowath ma Siungu en dhowath makare nikech en kama nituge tuke gi kinde machon kendo dhowath ma Nambu neno kanyo ka oganda pod nitie kendo dwaro piem mayiedhi. Jomoko luonge ni fugo bende achiel kuom gigo mar piem mar yiedhi. Kawuok kamano nyakwaro Mgajwang' nasingo ni kawuono wabedo kwang'iyo gik mopogore moko wasebedo kwang'iyo ahinya e weche mag paw tuke. Antiere kod wenge manyien, guests mabende antiere kode studio kaendi, guests mabende osebedo ka tugo mar basketball, tuko kapu matiende niya gin e jogo matugo basketball. Anyalo wacho ni makare e Kenya ka nikech season mokadho Nairobi City Thunder notieko season unbeaten. Matene gitugo gini magitieko ka onge ng'ata manokawo kuomgi loch e pachoka. Mano bende koro miyo gi thuolo mar mondo mi gitim nang'o gidhi nyime gitugo tukego nyaka e kidieny mano mar Afrika. Matene gibiro bedo ka gipiem kod timbe mamoko mawuok e Afrika e tuke mag basketball. Achiel kachiel kaunang wariwo dhok awinge ni jaluo English tango English si English ung'eyo Kiswahili mana matin to kabiwacho jok mwacho gani Kiswahili chando kawuono ang'eni ne gisesomo kamusi magi koro mebo miyo githuolo mondo mi wanento wan gi ji machal nadi e set kawuono ka gombaka mag basketball. Abocho ng'ama loso Kiswahili mondo mi kik tim nadi walala ahinya to wagombaka e weche mag basketball. Thank you guys for making time. This is Pautuke Ramogi TV and you're just going to talk about basketball in Kenya, how you feel, how it is, and maybe things we can do that will make basketball more appealing to others. Like people play football mostly and I want them also to play and love basketball. Nitaanza na wewe ni mwenyeji. Just for introduction, tuambie jina lako ni nani and which team do you play for?
Mimi naitwa Okal Koranga, Ariel Okal Koranga. Nachezea Kenya National Basketball Team Morans and my club ni Nairobi City Thunder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll come to you. Maybe you do an introduction, your name, the club you play for, and maybe tell us the role you play in that club.
Same as Okal, my name is Derek Ogeji. I also play with Kenya Morans and now Nairobi City Thunder, and I'm a guard.
Thank you. And then I'll come to you. Maybe introduce yourself, your name, and team you play for.
Yeah, so my name is Marcelo Wari. I'm not a player. I'm part of the management team for Nairobi City Thunder. I lead partnerships and sponsorships on that side.
Haya, koro kawuono ang' nyakang' ni yaw iti maber. Kapo ni nitiere ng'at moro ma ok winji, tang' ni temane mondo mi wakonyre, mondo mi wawinj sigana mar Nairobi City Thunder. Kaka nasing nyakwaro Mgajwang' e pachoka wantiere kod tugo ma basketball. Basketball nitiere kod league mare mana kaka adhula. Matiende basketball ni bendi tugo kendo en benti gi season mare mitugo ma kochopo to nitiere joloch. Nairobi City Thunder gin e joloch ma pachoka. Nikikuja kwako. Last year you played a whole season.
Yeah.
Unbeaten. What was the secret?
I think secret ni practice, camaraderie. Tuko na teamwork nyingi sana pale Thunder, so I think that hiyo ndio imekuwa like msingi ya sisi kushinda games.
Yes.
And then preparation. So we started early, vile pia tumeanza hii season, tumeanza mapema kujipanga vile tutacheza hiyo season inakuja.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as Nairobi City Thunder, kwa hii ligi yote nimekuwa mkicheza ya basketball, challenge inakuanga wapi kwa hii team? Which other teams do you see come close to as in unapea the hit when you play?
But tulikuwa unbeaten, so hapo
yes, mnaweza kuwa mko unbeaten, yeah. But when you play, kuna teams zingine zinaweza sema if you're going to play this league, we prepare for this team. Ama hii team has a challenge.
There was Equity Bank last season.
Yes.
We played them 7 times and most of these 7 times ni only game moja tu ndo tuliwafunga na almost 20 points.
Yes.
So 6 of them zilikuwa single digit wins. And walijaribu walituchallenge sana semifinals of the playoffs.
Yes.
Walitusumbua kidogo lakini tuliwafunga, so I can say tulikuwa na sisi ndo tuko na siri ya kushinda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming to you as a player at Nairobi City Thunder, it is known to have more, let me say, international players. They are Kenyans, but they went to play outside. Let me give an example with yourself. They went outside, played, and came back. What made you come back to Kenya to play for Nairobi City Thunder?
Definitely just the fact that I get to come play with my friends and also represent Kenya on the biggest stage now going to BAL. So being able to represent Kenya and playing year-round with national team guys and also my friends, I think that made Nairobi City Thunder the destination I wanted to come to.
So what's the difference with playing basketball in Kenya and playing basketball maybe in the US?
I think the biggest difference is just I think the structure, how we set it up in the U.S. than it is in Kenya. But I think now that most guys are coming back, I think now the systems will start to change, and then we'll start elevating the game here in Kenya as well.
Now coming to you as one of the people who are among the managements, you have stretched your hands because we are in Kenya. We have Kenyan-based players, and also Kenyan-based players who play outside in other leagues. What made it easier for you to go out and then convince the other players to come back and play for Nairobi City Thunder in Kenya, playing for the badge?
Yeah, so that's really what, as an organization, we've been trying to do. We've been trying to restructure a lot of the way that systems work in basketball in Kenya, and we've done that through a lot of the support from the KBF. They've helped us make that possible. Our sponsors and partners have made that possible as well, and just with everything that we're building, we've been able to make the case to players like Derek to explain why it's in their best interest to be able to come home and play basketball at home, because everyone would like to be at home. The only reason why a lot of Kenyan players have been abroad for the most part is because there hasn't been the structure and the teams in place that's made it appealing for them to come to play basketball in Kenya. And so that's what we've really put at the forefront of wanting to change that narrative, and we've been quite successful so far, to say the least. So.
Okay, Nyakwarombo Juang, enni magi gin team mar Nairobi City Thunder. Kendo kwa gomba kakaindi, mokum gin jo Kenya, mono nyule Kenya. Kendo dhie pinje ma oko. Kendo agin pinje ma oko ne gido thuolo mar tuge pinje ma oko yudo lony aito gichak giduogo Kenya. Kendo sani gitugo ne team mar Nairobi City Thunder. Iwacho ni umesema unachezea Morans, that is the Kenyan team.
The Kenyan national
so
team.
what is the challenge? We see people loving football more than basketball. If you go to, let me say, Nyayo Stadium, the auditorium where people play, a lot of people don't come for basketball than football. Is it that we have not given basketball that heaviness and the light as football?
I think with that, naweza sema ni inaanguka sana upande ya marketing. The way you market your teams, the way we market the game, over the years haijakuwa poa sana. But if you look at last season, especially with us Thunder, the way wamekuwa wakimarket games zetu, we've been having a lot of fans coming to watch basketball. Games kama za Thunder, Ulinzi, Thunder KPN, Thunder and Equity. Kiwanja imekuwa inajaa hadi tickets zinakuwa sold out. Like today's game pia ya Thunder and the South Sudan.
Yes.
The VVIP and the VIP tickets zimeisha. So hiyo inaonyesha kuna ka growth kidogo imeanza kukuja. So administrators wa game pia pale KBF lazima waangalie vile wanaweza tusaidia ku market game yetu kuinje ndio we get more guys to come and watch. Football is already popular.
Yes.
So sisi tuko na a lot of work to do kufanya pia game yetu kuinje watu waipende.
Okay. So na umesema unachezea Morans.
Yeah.
Morans depend on ama wanachukua players kutoka kwa hizi teams zingine zinacheza basketball, and it's something we look up to as Kenyans. Morans pia tucheze at that stage. Ukiangalia venye saizi ligi nakaa na players wenye wako hapo, are they fit enough ama wako na the needed experience kubeba hii badge ya Kenya and to fight kwa hizo stages za juu?
Experience iko. Zamani vile tulikuwa tuna perform sometimes vizuri, sometimes si vizuri sana. Shida ilikuwa preparation, because kulikuwa watu kama Derek hawakuwa nyumbani, wako huko nje. So kama tunaenda game lazima watumie ticket waende kwa venue ya game directly. Hawana hiyo time ya kukuja nyumbani kujel na team. But now since they're here, Tyler is here, we have a lot of Albert is also here in Kenya, so preparation yetu itakuwa better. And to win lazima you prepare for it. Uwezi amka tu asubuhi useme ati utashinda. Even if you have a good team and good players, lazima kukuko na hiyo chemistry hapo ndani. So with these guys being here in Kenya, I think our performance yetu ya national team ita improve.
Derek, playing in the US and now you've come back to Kenya, the culture in the US and the culture in Kenya. How do you fit to the team? Unakaribisha, or how do you feel it when playing with them? Because maybe you had some different set of skills that you are trained when you're abroad, and when you come back, there's a different style of play, set of skills. How do you match this to fit with them and also help them maybe reach that level?
I think for me personally, I think I fit anywhere, like versatile, very versatile player. So I think coming here and playing with these guys it's been an easy transition. I think the biggest part is definitely the physicality. I think here in Kenya, basketball is very physical. So I think that's the big change. But other than that, as you can see, I'm a big guard. So like, it doesn't affect me as much as it would for a different player that would come.
Now, since you came to Nairobi City Thunder, there are games that you've played, okay? When playing these games, you've said Kenyans are very physical. How do they motivate you to reach that level?
It definitely starts in practice. I think the level of our practices are very hard and very physical as that. And then going into the games, like you said, the Thunder have a big target on their back, and everyone wants to beat us. So obviously it made my game elevate, and also our team game elevate.
Ancora mgwajwang ogombaka kod jogo magin ji team mar Nairobi City Thunder. Joma koko riwore kodwa ma en team matugo basketball e pacho kaendi. Ang'eyo ni kowuok e secondary, kowuok e primary, colleges wantiere kod jogo matugo basketball. Kendo gin be gin gi lekni kapo ni gitieko school o gitiek basketball gi kanyo, gidhi nyime kod basketball nyaka kidienje mopogore opogore. Matieni Kenya kaendi bende nitiere league mar basketball. Kendo gi sani osayawre. Ka en league ma ikelo jotugo ma Kenya mane nitiere pinje ma ok oduogo tugo pacho ka, nyisi ni league ma koro osayawre kendo ji nyalo tugo. Coming to you, how many players do you have who are maybe Kenyans who are playing abroad and then came back to play for Nairobi City Thunder? And what do you do? Like, you know, if you get someone from outside and you have local players, sometimes they feel like, why are you trusting on others who are from outside and not us here at home? Why can't you just give us the chance? So how do you marry these two things so that you have that unity and they play for one cause?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more players playing abroad from Kenya that people are actually aware of. And there's different cases. There's some people that were born and raised in Kenya and they decided to leave to better their talent. And then there's other individuals that were maybe born and raised elsewhere, but they're Kenyan by roots. And so there's still a number of players abroad. We brought in 2 or 3 more Kenyan players into the team now, Derek included.
Yes.
And I wouldn't say that there's any issue really there trying to explain to the other players why they'll gel or why we're bringing players in. Everyone wants to become the best player that they can. That's the culture that we've instilled in the team.
Yes.
We want to be the best team on the continent. And so people understand that sometimes, especially at the beginning, we will have to look outside and bring players in, but that will raise the level of the entire team and the entire basketball community locally.
Yes.
And part of everything that we think about is we don't want to always have to look out to bring Kenyan players back in. We want to be able to have Kenyan players playing locally and bring players into the team that are maybe playing on different teams, but that are also playing on some of our developmental teams. And we can recruit them from a younger age, and they can see the entire pipeline staying in Kenya, playing basketball in Kenya, living in Kenya, as opposed to feeling like they can maybe play here when they're very young, leave to go and play for a bit, and then we're trying to go and poach them and bring them back to play on the team. But I don't think it's an issue.
Okay. Ni kuja kwako. During the Olympics,
Yeah.
South Sudan tuliona ni kama team yenye ilikuwa inaenda pahali because they played it was a friendly match with the US before the games, and they went almost toe to toe. Unaona ni kama hiyo ndio strategy watu wa Kenya wanataka kufanya ukija Moran, our players to come back, wakuje wacheze ligi yetu, then waingie Moran so that we can also fight at that level.
I think 4 years ago in 2019, Kenya and South Sudan walikuwa at the same,
Yes, same level.
Yeah, we beat them here in Kenya. They beat us in Rwanda, I think, the following year. So nothing is impossible. With whatever strategies that we have right now in the federation, twende, basketball, all that, ukizishikanisha zote pamoja, nothing is impossible.
Okay.
And kugrow talent inaanza huko chini. So with us twende, we have our feeder programs, twende basketball, nacheza huko street league. So if we can have other teams ziko hivyo, so that we start growing the game from hiyo age ya chini huko, tutakuwa na a great pool of players wala wanaweza compete at Olympics. Because right now, looking at South Sudan, they have a lot of players wenye wanacheza nje, wako in different countries, and they try to pick some of the best from these countries alafu wanaweka kwa national team and they have a great team. So we can do that too, and I think wametuacha kidogo, but we can still get there. Yeah.
Now, you're looking forward to represent Kenya in the continental Africa, like African basketball. There's a competition that you're going to play, like Gor Mahia just played CAF. Now, since you're the winners in Kenya, you're also going to play that CAF, as in the basketball side. What do you expect from Nairobi City Thunder? Because people say after playing in Kenya, maybe making a step forward. Are you seeing yourself doing something in that stage?
Definitely. I think that's one of the main reasons for coming and joining the Thunder is to make the big push. I don't think we're just going there to just participate. I think we want to go there and make a big push on the continent and make sure people know Nairobi City Thunder, not as just the Thunder, but as a whole representative of Kenya. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what you aim to do in the continental stage. Now, today night you're playing Sudan-based players, okay, in Kenya. What informed this? Because at the start of the week or last weekend, you played All Stars. How was it? And then why are you doing this for the team as they prepare for the African Games?
Yeah, so as you've said, we're getting prepared to go and play in the Basketball Africa League. And our only goal is to make Kenya as proud as possible, to make East Africa as proud as possible, to be honest. And the reason why we're doing these games, last week we played against the Nairobi All-Stars. So that's a pool of several different players from different teams that are maybe the best on each of their teams to play against our team. The reason being is we want to continue to get repetitions in and to prepare ourselves as best possible to represent Kenya well at the BAL. And kind of like Carl was just saying, it's all a part of the chemistry and the gelling. We've brought in a lot of new players. We've really strengthened the team even more, but they need to spend time playing games together. You can run games in practice, but there's nothing like playing a game against players that you're not training with every day. And so the reason why we're doing these games is to prepare so that we're going in to the BAL qualifiers as ready as possible. And we're going to have several more friendly games before we start those competitions in the next coming weeks.
Okay, so like football, we always have academies for the senior team. Okay, Nairobi City Thunder, do you have a process or do you have a way in which you go back to the society, look for the talents, and then bring them to a pool, and then maybe train them so that they can get to your team or take them to other teams?
Yeah, so right now we have 3 academy type teams that play in the street league. So we have a men and women's 20-day basketball team that play in the street league. That's very much a feeder program to Nairobi City Thunder. So we're giving exposure in what is very much the premier grassroots league in the street league and the women's empowerment league. It's good competition against a lot of the players that even were playing with the Nairobi All-Stars that we faced last week. And we use that to help develop their talent for players that maybe wouldn't be getting game time for Nairobi City Thunder. We also have a partner team that we work with called The Mentor. That is a team primarily made up of South Sudanese refugees that we also use to nurture more and more talent. But again, above all of this is to be able to use basketball as an outlet. That's just as important. We want to change lives and use basketball to do that. And so we're putting on a platform for kids to be able to see the trajectory, starting from a younger age group to maybe then becoming a player on the Nairobi City Thunder team that's one of the premier teams on the continent. So we do have that, and we're wanting to grow even further to younger teams, starting from 5, 6, 7 years old. The same way that we see those kinds of structures in the US, where it's not by chance that the US is as good as basketball as they are. And South Sudan is also making its way up now, and it's similar kind of programs, just nurturing talent from a young age and getting those repetitions in. Because you have to get a lot of repetitions in to master the craft of basketball. So we're very, very aware of that.
Yeah, so wewe ni wa nyumbani. Kuna kuanga na basketball ya mtaa, okay? Like you play for Nairobi Street and they know you, okay? Ukirudi huko kwa streets ukipiga nao story. Nairobi City Thunder saizi inajulikana everywhere. If you walk utasikia watu wakisema Nairobi City Thunder ndio champions wa basketball in Kenya. Na unasikia hawa watoto wadogo, they want to be like you guys. Na wanataka hiyo space. Unaweza waambia nini?
Naweza waambia, unajua kila mahali huwa unaambiwa hard work ndio inafanya mtu anakuwa successful, so lazima wa work hard, wakuwe consistent na zile vitu zenye wanafanya kwa mazoezi. Hawezi fanya tizi Monday alafu Tuesday unalala, so lazima kila siku kuwe hapo nje and stay disciplined. Hakuna mahali unaweza, hizi vitu zingine hard work, consistency, discipline ndio inafanya players wanakuwa wazuri na players they become good in what they do. So without discipline success itakuwa story nyingine. So wale watu wako huko chini wenye wanataka kukua wacheze basketball at a higher level, lazima tu watie bidii kwa kazi. Without that itakuwa ngumu.
Now coming to you, US is known for basketball, and you see the number of fans who come out to watch or even follow basketball, and it's live either on gadgets or live in the stadiums. Is it the same as Kenya, or what should Kenyans do at least to reach that level of having us also love basketball as we do to soccer?
I think it's definitely working its way towards that. These guys have been telling me like before it wasn't like this, so like I'm getting like the new stuff where I'm seeing a whole bunch of fans coming up to the games, everyone's lining up outside. So I think the excitement is there, and just the way we continue to get better, I think it can be like the US, especially when I think we start building infrastructure and more stadiums, you know, to obviously be like the US so we can have more fans.
Okay. Yakwara mwaja mwago mbaka kode team mar Nairobi City Thunder basketball. Jaluo tango English dongo ng'eyo ki ng'ato wachino chieng kawuono wadhuma English ni kala ng'eni jaluo gi English un kama kolok mathin to wachone amano ken mako wacho marach tang'enu ng'eno wacho marach kata kamano team ni en team mapacho ka kik buogi perni tomato jogi ogolo kanye en team mapacho ka otugo league mapacho ka league mar basketball kendo gima mora manyawacho nyakwara mga wangu wantiere kod jara mag basketball e gwenge mopogre skunde mawuok e gwenge mag Nyanza to kod Kenya mangima gitugo basketball ka gisetieko gidhi kanye magi achiel kuom timbe mantiere pacho kaendi mabende tingo kendo tego talanta Nairobi City Thunder basketball kendo tino makawuono jogo mananeno weche mag basketball wantiere Nyayo Stadium mangi ntiere kod tugo tino makawuono mabende gidhi tugo kod jitugo mago mag Sudan mabende tugo e pacho kaendi ka gipimorego nikech gine magidhi tingo bendera mar piny Kenya e tuke mag Afrika mateni ka gidhi kanyo to koro ginywando jo Kenya duto so jo Kenya duto ng'iyogi mondo mi ginyis kit tugo machal kamano. Coming back to you, we have the federation that protects or fights for the rights of basketball. Do you feel up to now they are well prepared to handle basketball issues? Because we have seen many games, football, soccer, netball, there are always complaints that maybe they don't stand up for the team. Do you feel the Nairobi, the basketball federation is well prepared to handle basketball at this level?
Yeah, and like I said, we're very thankful to the KBF for being able to work with them as we've been trying to introduce a much more professional culture to the basketball landscape here. And I think the KBF is doing a great job. They're trying their best to continue supporting basketball in Kenya because I think basketball has had a very accelerated growth over the last few years. There's been what we've been seeing in South Sudan with the team there. We've been seeing what Giants of Africa and different non-profits are doing around the continent, growing and building courts. So I think the KBF is doing a very good job keeping up, and they've been very supportive of us with everything we're trying to do and everything we've been trying to restructure. So we're very thankful to them for that.
Okay. Nikuja kwako ingene jawe ni wa huku jogwe. Nyakwara mogin joluo en mani koro luo nyalo bedo ni kierne gi mathino ginyal riwo koni kod kocha. Kata kamano wabogo mbaka nikech akase wachunu kanyo weche mag English to ohingo. Challenges mag as in what challenges do you see zinakwanga kwa game ya basketball in Kenya because wewe ni player umekuwa huku and I know maybe umegrow ukikuja kafika your time and now you're playing for I just say the best team in Kenya playing basketball right now. Challenges zinakwanga gani kwa ma players?
As I said, the biggest challenge in basketball ya Kenya ni facilities because right now we only have access to Nyayo Stadium. That's the only public facility yenye tunaweza access na kutumia. If you compare with a country like Rwanda, over the years, I think the last 10 years wame improve in terms of facility. Na ukiangalia game yao pia imeanza kuenda juu. So Kenya saizi ile kitu yenye nimekuwa nikilia sana ni uwanja ya kucheza basketball. If we can get 3 more in Nairobi like Nyayo Stadium, Mombasa, Kisumu, hii game itaacha kuchezwa sana Nairobi because inachezwa sana Nairobi. It needs to go to different cities. Ichezwe pia huko nje ndio we spread the love ya basketball. Kila mtu akoko anatuwatch kama tunacheza kwa city yao.
Yes. Yeah. So coming back to you again, Nairobi City Thunder, most of us know the men's team. Do you have a ladies team or are you in the process of making that, and how do you also feel? Because people want to identify with a brand that is doing well, like in the market, okay? So like me today, I'll become a Nairobi City Thunder basketball fan because it's a brand that is doing well in the market. Do you have a plan for maybe the ladies and the girls, another team that would represent you?
Yeah, so like I said, in our development programs in the Women's Empowerment League, which happens in Eastlands, we have a women's team there, under 20 basketball. And the fact that we've focused on the grassroots development for the women as well right now means that there is definitely plans down the line to incorporate a women's team that's on the larger stages. Right now, it's just a function of making sure that there's the traction to be able to do that. And we also don't want to spread ourselves too thin.
Yes.
Or handling a men's basketball team is already a big task. And
Yes.
we want to do things, we pride ourselves in doing things as best as we can all the time. We don't want to be trying to spread ourselves thin to also be doing the same thing for a women's team.
Yes.
It's definitely in the plans, but just for right now, we have a lot to handle on the men's side first.
Okay, so if you were to tell us the number of players that you have that play basketball in Nairobi City Thunder and how you organize them to come for training, where do you train? The off days, because from here some people ask where do they train? You want to go and see them play. There are people who just want to come and watch you play to get the skills. Maybe they don't want to join you, but to get the skills so that they play elsewhere. So you can tell us that.
Yeah, so right now we have a roster of 18 players. We train primarily at Nyayo Stadium. Unfortunately, if people do want to come see, it's a bit tricky to allow people to see what we're doing because
Yes.
we're running through some private plays and different strategies.
Styles, yes.
But yeah, we train every day of the week. All of our players in our team are fully professional basketball players. That's another aspect of what we're very proud of. So when it comes to organizing players to get to practice, that's on them. The same way anybody else in any other job has to find their way to work every day. The players have to find their way to training every day, be there on time, be there ready to train. And yeah.
Now, as a player, he has said, the hardships that they go through playing. Now, as a management, what are the hardships that you go through? Because now you have come to a country where we valued mostly soccer and maybe racing or athletics. And then now basketball is coming with another force or a pull that wants to get to the level at which if you tell somebody that today Gor Mahia is playing, AFC is playing, Tusker is playing, people would want to go and watch. Okay? If you tell them that today we have athletics at Kasarani, people would come to watch. Yeah, so strategies, what you're going to do with that, and then just about that.
Yeah. Well, I would say if you say that Nairobi City Thunder is playing, people do want to come and watch. We have a lot of people come to our games. But I mean, the hardships come mainly in the fact that we are trying to do something that hasn't been done before as a professional organization. By doing that, there's a lot of learning. There's a lot of new things we have to experiment doing. And sometimes we get it wrong, sometimes we get it right. But we take that in our stride and we learn from those different mistakes. But for the most part, I think people would be very surprised as to how popular basketball actually is within Kenya. Yes. It's definitely growing. It's not on the levels of athletics and of football, but it's growing a lot. And we're very excited about that. We're working with several different partners that help us make it easier to kind of spread the word and do those, to be able to grow the way that we want to. But we take any difficulty in our stride. The same way the players would in their own ways. We're trying to fix that to make it easier. We're also conscious that nothing happens overnight. The reason why football is the way it is here is because football is the biggest sport in the world. But basketball is the second biggest sport in the world right now. And the same way you could be walking in any part of Kenya and you'll see people wearing NBA team gear.
Yes.
People wearing LA Lakers, Boston Celtics, you name it. That means that people are aware of the sport. People like to follow the sport. And basketball is very different also that it has a much wider culture. And so it's only a matter of time, and it's already happening now, where you'll see people wearing Nairobi City Thunder merchandise, walking around, wearing our gear, wearing our jerseys. And it's going to be very exciting. And I think it's going to happen much quicker than people would expect.
Yeah, so you're a new player in the team. What do you look forward to achieve with the team? Because if you come a new player, when you come, they'll ask you, in Kiswahili, umetujoin itakuwaje? Okay. What do you look forward to achieve with the team as you join them for this season?
Like I said before, BAL, making that push with them, being the first Kenyan team to make it to the BAL. I think that's our goal and ultimately what we want to do. And then come home again, playing KBF for my first time. So being able to see how that is and then hopefully go back to back with these guys.
Yeah. Mchezaji wa huku season inaanza, okay? Season and they are prepared. Najua ukipiga mtu la season unbeaten wanaendanga wanakaa chini wana strategize. Ni aje tu kuwapiga, is there half a basket or one basket, they'll say kwa nini tupiga nayo basket moja? The people are strategizing. Hii season mnakuja aje? Jula season mlikuwa mmepiga watu unbeaten. Teleza tu kidogo, najua kuna watu pia wanakasirika huko nje wanajipanga.
Asikasirike. I think going into this season mpya, I don't know, hizo teams zingine sijaona kama wanafanya mambo sana, but our management wame beef up squad yetu, so mentally I'm already in game mode, niko ready kucheza season. Physically I'm fit, so it's upon the other teams to also, put their houses in order, wajipange wakuje tucheze. Sisi so far tulianza mazoezi I think a month ago. And we are ready to go. Hata wakisema tuanze kesho, we are ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go. Yeah. Okay, tunaenda Africa. Let me just tell you how it is in soccer. Wanasemanga would play in Kenya, win. Tukienda hapo nje tunakunja mikia. Like we don't play. We play in Kenya, yes, we become champions, but going to the other stages we get timid, or we are scared of it. Are you ready for that?
Kushinda si rahisi. And for you to win, you have to prepare yourself for the battle ahead. So for Thunder, itakuwa first time kwenda as Thunder kucheza BAL, but it won't be the first time for the players within Thunder kucheza nje ya Kenya.
Yes.
The 12 players who will represent us in BAL, I think most of them wamecheza through the national team and others through other clubs on that stage. Personally, I've played the qualifiers 4 times. And hizo zote nne, apart from last year, ndio nilikosa kwenda kwa second round of the qualifiers. Unfortunately, I haven't qualified to play in the main BAL, and that is the ultimate goal with the team that we have right now, Thunder. So if tunaenda huko nje kucheza, I don't think tutakuwa na a lot of challenges game wise. Hiyo watu wanasema kukunja mkia and all that. Kwa sababu tumejiandaa. So the more we prepare, the more success inakuja karibu.
Okay.
We'll get it.
Okay. Coming to the management, Nairobi City Thunder is now making steps, and the name is out there. Where do you see the team in 5 years' time? What do you want to achieve, and what will you be seeing in basketball from Nairobi City Thunder? People will follow you, will have a large following, and now they'll be having expectations. Year in, year out. What should we expect?
Well, it's really exciting, first of all, to have the potential that we do have. In 5 years' time, our goal is to be the best team in Africa. And if we had any other goals, we'd be undershooting, in my opinion.
Yes.
And the pressure that comes along with that is something that we take in our stride. And every player that's a part of the organization right now knows that that's what we're trying to achieve. And there's a lot of different things that are going to have to align in order for that to happen. And we go one season at a time. Right now, the goal is to get to BAL. Be the first team to make it out of BAL qualifiers into the BAL finals.
Yes.
Once we do that, then we'll slowly be achieving our main milestones. Last year, our goal was to make it to BAL qualifiers. We successfully did that, and we did it way better than we probably would have ever guessed by not losing a single game. So this season, we have our goal for the end of the season, and we take it season by season after that. If we make it to the BAL this season, into the finals, let's see. If we can go all the way, we'd love to. If not, then the goal moves on to next season.
Yes.
And to do better than the previous season, and so on, just like that. And at a certain point, the only option is to win it all, because we can only get better up until a certain point. And so that's our plan. And we want, like I said, to be making Kenya proud, making East Africa proud on a continental stage. And so we're very, very excited about being able to do that. We're confident we're gonna be able to do that. And so yeah, the next 5 years, stay tuned. It'll be very exciting.
Nikirudi kwako. Morans is the Kenyan team.
Yes.
And Morans over the last, I think, 2 years, they have made big strides towards achieving things in basketball. Ukiangalia saizi na the kind of now talent yenye nakuja kwa basketball yenye iko hapa Kenya. Do you see us making it in the near future? Mkiangalia all the talents that we have from secondary, high schools, universities, and how they pick players to play for us.
Our secondary school games are actually some of the most organized games that huwa tuko nazo Kenya. If you follow and watch them, the games closely, wako very organized. So we also have universities that pick players from uko high school, wanawapatia scholarships wacheze huku juu. So hiyo ni kitu yenye tunachukulia positive. And some of these players wako on the right track to join national team and other big teams in the league. So to make it, we made it to Afro Basket 21 after 28 years. Alikuwa kucheza hiyo time because he was new, he was coming in. And right now, from 2021 to Afro Basket 2025, I think a lot have been done in the national team, and we are one win away from qualifying again for the African Championship year 2025. We'll play in February, and we hope we're gonna get a win or two against those guys out there to really tell Afro Basket.
Ari sawa nyako Ramogi nogo mpaka ko team mar Nairobi City Thunder Basketball kendo en tugo makare kendo winjo ni e piny mangima wantiere gi soccer then wantiere kod basketball number 2 and Kenyan basketball is opening up. Mano miyo biro kaini mondo watwa kod jogi gin jogo matugo ne team no ma e pacho ka season mokadho ngama no mulo gi onge season ni pod giwacho ni gin gisaikore gisebedo ka gi train almost a month gintiere gi tuke makako de kacha nje gi tugo kod All Stars giloyo kauno gotieno gitugo gi jotugo mago mag South Sudan kendo bro bedo tugo ma mita yenya nikech di tuge e pap manyayo kin machiegni alwora ma Nairobi nyala bedo gi thuolo mar mondo miridri mondo midine kaka tugo no chalo kama i team ma dhi tingo bendera mar Kenya tuke go midhi tugi mago mag clubs mag Africa tukimalizia that is Kiswahili as we wind up. What would you tell the youngsters who watch you now at home? They want to be like you and play basketball. What advice would you give to them?
I just say to work hard and to see that you can actually be on this level too, and not just be like me, but be better than me, because it's possible. And to just keep being in the gym, come ask questions. I mean, there's definitely ways to reach out to us and be fans as well, and just keep pushing every day.
Aya, nakuja kwako.
Yeah.
Teams are watching, wana watch Ramogi TV, they will play because itakuwa and they'll say you have dared them that the season is coming. Wangoje nini? What do they wait for?
For Thunder fans in Kenya, there's ukisha shinda season unbeaten. I think the fans expect you to win again because you have already spoiled them. So that's the only thing that we can give them, another winning season in the 2024-2025 season. Outside Kenya, Thunder fans, it's gonna be our first time at BAL with the Thunder brand. The ultimate goal is to get to the final two of BAL, and Kenya has tried a lot. Tumekuwa tukifika karibu tuna fail, so this season we are going all in, and hopefully tutapatia fans wetu hiyo chance ya kutuona kwa final tour ya BAL. Yeah.
Okay, and coming to you from the management, what do you expect? Because you see their players and they also look up to you. What are your plans for them this season? Maybe you used to give them bonus after playing and winning. Are they still going to get that? Are you going to make sure they maintain that level and also finish unbeaten? And if not unbeaten, they finish the champions.
Yeah, so there's definitely still the same incentives that there were last season. But when we're recruiting our players to come and become a part of the Nairobi City Thunder team, there's one aspect that's skill. There's the other aspect that's personality, want, and drive.
Yes.
And we have a team of players that all want to be the best versions of themselves on the basketball court and to push the boundaries as much as possible. So as much as there's other incentives, we know that all the players on the team want to win. Last year set the precedent. Okal's correct. We're probably going to need to try and have another undefeated season because that's what our fans will expect. The number one goal is to be the best version of ourselves, to win the league, to make it as far in BAL as possible. And all of the players want that. Every single player on the team culture is amazing. And the team has gelled really well. People have known each other from different walks of life while playing basketball. And the camaraderie is there. We don't have to do too much as a management team to psych them up and to try to have them want to win. That's inherently a part of it all. And they want to. And so we're very confident that that's going to happen.
Aya, kawuono winjo English ngama wacho ga ni pile kuchiwi ni los gi dholuo chowa gi English. Let's give the low chowa gi English. Kawono winjo English maber. Kendo wagwero kamane wendo. Thank you for coming and giving us time to speak about basketball and talk about basketball. We wish you the best in the African Games, and we also wish you the best in the starting of the coming league. We will be there to watch and see if you're going to do it again unbeaten. I think you've got new fans. Festus, Merab, Raymond, there's another one called Liz, Kevin, Chris, Bob, new fans. They'll be supporting Nairobi City Thunder. So after this, today in the evening, ama leo jioni, tunaenda kuona game yao Nyayo. Nyakwara mgajua nkikidima bor, wanchire kod mathote, chino mapau tuke. Tokma, wanchire kod Festus, wanchire kod Joey, wanchire kod iluongo ni Merab. Wadangi anito Gor Mahia udoge league gibiro tugo nango. Police FC bende nodhi biro bedo nade. Shabana FC udo thuolo mar dok tugo Gusii Stadium. Met kamane madhi chako miyo gi thuolo mondo mi gitim maber league mapacho kaendi. To bende akene jomoko no weloyo koso ka gilo gol achiel to tugo tamogi ok gilo kendo. Mano tim marakwar Manchester United dago mbaka ne chal na di Europa. This weekend watugo kendo English Premier League. Kikidhi mabor waduogo toka thuolo machuok.
Female genital fistula, FGF, en tuo ma ikelo kod